Thank you for tuning in to 26 Sports. This is your host, Mike Reza, and I'm back with the special Easter Sunday edition of 26 Sports. And this is a very, very special episode today. As first off, happy Easter to everybody. Hope you're having a great Sunday, and hope you're having a good time. Hopefully with your family, if possible. Besides that, let's get into it, man. This episode is very special today, as I spoke with many different people inside the boxing realm, media, fans, boxing personalities, people that are known throughout Twitter, Instagram, and things of that nature. And I wanted to do something with showing the depth and, the youth in boxing that we could look forward to going forward. And we came up with this list here where it was supposed to be the top 10 fighters under 25 years in age and under. Issue there was, it was tough, man. There were so many fighters that we were trying to get into this list of, just 10, but it was hard because there's so much depth and class and skill in this level. So it actually ended up being extended to 13 fighters because we had 4 fighters with the same amount of votes. And there was a total of 14 of the boxing media, everything, personalities that I picked for this list, and there was 24 different fighters. So the majority of people came up with a different fighter than everybody else. So that also shows the difference in skill, likes of boxing, styles of boxing, and things of that nature. So it's definitely something to look forward to. But without further ado, let's get into this list, man. And we're gonna start off with a well-known and questioned fighter for who knows what reason besides, some little email mix-up, so to speak. But without a doubt, he is a man who is worthy of his spot on this list, and he has supreme skill. You could question what you want about his resume, but he is definitely stepping it up in his next fight. First and foremost on this list, and this is not a top 1 to 13 or anything like that. It's fighters all over the place, so it's not one specific place for this fighter. So first that we have on this list today is the man known as Devin Haney. Yes, indeed. 25-0 with 15 KOs. He has a great knockout also on his resume of Antonio Moran on the Zone. He's, worked his way. He's fought. He's his own promoter at times. He's done his job, and he's now lined up for a great fight and great test, if you really think about it, with Jorge Linares, May 29th from Las Vegas, Nevada, on the Zone. So it's definitely, something that we're really going to see coming from this kid. Is he what a lot of people think he is? A lot of people on this list think he is. Or is he what others think and he's not quite there, or he's not ready to live up to that expectation? We're going to find out May 29th, as it is going to be his biggest test possible at this time with Jorge Linares. Ryan Garcia is fighting Javier Fortuna. Tio Fimo's fighting George Cambros. So what else could Haney do? But he picked a really good opponent here. He is, again, 25-0. So let's see what's next for Devin Haney. And this fight should really ascend him or descend him, as some people believe it may. Next on this list is a fighter who I've been following for a while, a fighter I'm very high on. He actually fights April 10th, this Saturday on Showtime, in his biggest test. I'm talking about none other than the man, Jaron Boots Ennis, as he will be going up against Sergey Lipinets, former IBF title holder at 140 pounds. Lipinets is a known, tough, durable veteran fighter who's coming to bring it, man. And Boots, he wants to keep testing himself, especially with his last fight ending with a cut. Went to a no decision, no contest pretty much because of this. Boots wants to show that he's legit, he's real, and he's here to do something. And he's next on this list, Jaron Boots Ennis. Let's see what he could do. 26-0 with 24 KOs. And I love it, man. I want to see what he got coming next. This is a great fighter. And you guys tune in this Saturday from Showtime. Jaron Boots Ennis is definitely, I believe, going to make a name for himself even further than what he is right now. Next up on this list is a controversial fighter to some, a great fighter to others, and a question fighter to the rest. the one and only David Benavidez, 24-0 with 21 KOs. This man has much skill, power, speed. Some question his defense at times, but he is a great fighter. The issue with him has been outside of the ring. What is he going to do when he's away from the ring? We've already seen 2 times he's had issues that have caused him to be stripped of his WBC Super Middleweight Championship. But when he is on, he is on. He's had some highlight reel fights, highlight reel knockouts. He's done it all. In his last fight against Ronald Ellis, he showed patience, maturity, against skill, broke his opponent down, and stopped Ellis in the 11th round, I believe, or 12th. I'm not sure. I apologize about that. But yeah, he did pick up the stoppage win, and he did say that he's going to keep going to Big Bear to train because he felt that that was the best that he's been. He didn't feel overweight. He didn't feel like drained. He feels like he could still make 168 pounds for a while. So why not let him do it? You know, David Benavidez, again, currently he's in position to challenge for the WBC belt. I don't believe he's the mandatory yet. He would have to fight, I believe, Durrell, if that is to happen, Anthony Durrell. If not, let's get him in there with Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez, or my personal pick for him, Jermall Charlo, which I think would be a great fight for both fighters. Let's see what happens there. Next up on this list is another one of my personal favorites. He's just a man that I think is underrated by a lot because his knockout power doesn't seem to be the best compared to his winning record. But he has skills and he's making a name for himself very quick. I'm talking about the one and only Chrislbert, 15-0, 6 knockouts, but he has some nice knockouts on this list. Go back to his fights. You'll see the skill he brings. You'll see the truth. And you'll see why some people have given him the name Mini or Little B-Hop. Chrislbert is legit. He's coming forward. He's got speed. He's got power, though it only shows 6 KOs. He has legit power. So definitely tune into him. Again, he's another man that's making a name for himself in boxing. And there's been some talk about him possibly facing Shakur Stevenson down the road, which again would be a great fight, but hopefully that's maybe 2 or 3 years down, so it could possibly that type of mega super fight that us boxing fans love. You know, we love those big fights, we love the big shows, so let's see if they could do it. Real quick, I want to say what's up to Clay Stevenson, ITR Boxing. What's up, man? Much respect to you guys as well. Hope you guys are doing good and hope you guys are having a great Sunday here. And next, I'm going to continue on this list here. We got another fighter again. Questioned because of the resume. Questioned maybe his record is a bit inflated. Maybe his knockout record is a bit inflated. And regardless, he brings some power, man. He brings some enjoyment. He brings some excitement to the ring. The one and only Edgar Balanga, 168 pounds, a super middleweight fighter. Again, who brings it. He's been trying to test himself, but he keeps getting his opponents out of there in the first round. And what can you say, man? The kid carries that power. The people that have been put in front of him, whether you like it or not, he stopped each one of them. You know, regardless of what you may think, that is hard to do. His next fight is going to be coming on April 24th from Florida. What's up, Marquise? He's going to be fighting April 24th from Florida against Desmond Nicholson, who is a legit fighter at the same weight class of 168. So let's see what Berlanga could do. If he is to pick up the victory on April 24th, and if it's not a tough fight or cut or anything like that, and he can return quickly, we will be more than likely seeing him in New York on June 12th, I believe, the day before the Puerto Rican Day Parade in New York, as the co-main to the Shakur Stevenson fight from New York on that day. So let's see. Again, Berlanga, he carries power, he carries belief, he trusts himself, he enjoys what he's doing, he brings excitement. The questions are, what happens when he gets dragged into the deep waters? What happens if he gets hit back? What is he going to do when that first time he throws that real powerful shot, his opponent takes it? How will he respond? Regardless, how will his opponent respond if Berlanga keeps throwing those bombs, doesn't quit, doesn't seem fazed by his opponent, maybe having a solid chin? That's my pleasure in watching him fight, is to see what he can bring. Can someone bring out the greatness that many believe he has. So let's see when it comes up again. Edgar Balanga, 16-0, 16 KOs, and he's fighting April 24th. Next up on this list is a fighter personally that I like a lot. He's made a name for himself quickly. He was placed on ESPN for his most recent fight and knockout on February 20th. He landed a beautiful shot in that fight, or it was February 13th, I apologize. But I'm talking about the one and only Jared Big Baby Anderson. His last fight against Kingsley Ibe, he landed a massive left hand, laid his opponent out, said some nice little words after, but he's definitely making a name for himself with the way he's performing consistently. Again, another fighter, all wins by knockout, but they're not all first round knockouts. But he has been testing himself, and he wants to keep coming back more and more and more. So Jared Big Baby Anderson is definitely a fighter to look up on. And again, the heavyweight division, man, that's the money division, as they say in boxing. Yes, the other divisions might have more shine, but currently with the likes of Wilder, Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dillian White, Andy Ruiz, Luis Ortiz, Joe Joyce, Alexander Usyk, there's a lot of movement and excitement in the heavyweight division. And then we got Jared Big Baby Anderson, who could definitely provide more excitement. So if he keeps along on his path, let's see what he could do. And hey, why not Ajagba and Anderson at some point down the road? Two prospects willing to throw down with knockout power. I would love to see it. But I'll let Top Rank figure that out some part down the road. I just like to see it, okay? And let's keep going. Next up on this list is another man who, unlike some of the people on this list, has also established himself as a world champion at a young age. He is 36-0 with 29 KOs. I'm talking about Jaime Mongia. He burst onto the scene first when his fight with Gennady Golovkin after Canelo's failed test was put up, agreed to, and then actually eventually shut down, as they said he was too young and not ready in essence. He ended up fighting Saddam Ali later on for a 154-pound title that Ali had actually taken from Miguel Cotto just months prior. And Munguia came in and absolutely demolished Ali. Knockdown after knockdown, bombs away, no fear. Ended the fight with a massive leg hook where the referee said that's enough. Burst onto the scene then, came back with a couple more knockouts, but then questions started to arise. His defense, he's allowing himself to get hit more. He gets hit a lot, actually, if you think about it. He had a tougher fight with the Noe from Japan for a 154-pound title in Texas. Some believe he may have lost to Dennis Hogan in Mexico. But he persevered and was given the decision in that fight. Again, it's been questions. He's now being trained by Eric El Terrible Morales. Going forward, he had a tough opponent in his last fight, and he actually got a very, very great right uppercut, I believe, that sliced the lips open of his opponent in that last fight, Toronto Johnson. And, it showed, again, that power that he has. But he did show a little bit more as Toronto Johnson was on him, pressuring him, throwing bombs, landing shots, putting him against the ropes. And Munguia, stayed patient, kept throwing his punches, and didn't get overwhelmed, it seems. So that showed something. But now he's moved up from 154 to 160. He's got another opponent coming at the end of this month, April 24th as well. Let's see what he could do. He's got Spike O'Sullivan as a victory, Toronto Johnson as a victory. Can he get another solid victory? And possibly, can we see him against Gennady Golovkin before the end of the year? Will that fight finally come to fruition for Jaime Mongia? A very tough fighter to pick between if he is as good as he may be or if he's just a little overhyped to some. But Munguia, again, in his fights, they've all been exciting. Some of them brawl, some of them a little bit more than that. So let's see what he brings forward coming next. Jaime Mongia, again, 36-0 with 29 9 knockouts. Again, this list is not in order, guys, so don't, say, oh, this guy should be above. We're just going off the top of the head, back and forth, back and forth. The list is not 1 to 13 or 13 to 1 or anything like that. So, let's see. The next fighter on this list is a fighter that I personally have a lot of interest in going forward. He's a solid fighter. He's doing a lot of different things, and would have fought this coming Thursday on Ring City, USA, but was forced to withdraw due to injury. I'm talking about the one and only Charles Bad News Conwell, boxing's best kept secret. This man, again, 14-0, 11 KOs, is fighting consistently against contenders or prospects around his range with records and, numbers. He's taken on his last 2 opponents, were both undefeated when they met Charles Conwell, and he defeated both of them. Wendy Toussaint, he stopped after breaking his nose from an uppercut. And then on Ring City, USA in December, he was able to beat and batter his opponent, Ashkeviev, in a performance to me that showed that Conwell was there where he should be, at least top 12 of the rankings of the 154-pound division. He brings it. He's very respectful, very a joy to talk to. Then you see him in the ring and he turns into an animal and he just goes nonstop. This man is definitely worth watching. He's fought on the Zone, on Showbox, on Ring City. He's been on everything, and he's making a name for himself really quick. He's coming out of Soul City Boxing Gym. Shout out to Rashawn Jones and the whole team out there at Soul City. Charles Conwell, pay attention to him. He's making some noise, and he's definitely going to be a name to look out for in the very near future at the 154-pound division. Next on this list is a man, again, who really needs no introduction. As soon as you see the picture, you guys know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the one and only Tio Fimo Lopez. The takeover is here. 16-0 with 12 KOs. And, of course, his last victory might be the best victory out of anybody on this list for the fighter that he beat, for the way that he beat him, and because of where everybody had his opponent ranked. He defeated Vasyl Lomachenko in a clear, unanimous decision victory where he said he was going to beat him up. He said he was going to dominate him. He said he was going to do all these things, and he did them. He went into that fight, outboxed Vasyl. He then destroyed him when they went on the inside at times. He did give some rounds away, but in the 12th round, when some felt that the cards could have been tightening, Tio Fimo went out and did what he had to do. He has those highlight reel knockouts. Mason Menard, Diego Magdaleno, Richard Comey, who was also a world champion at the time. He's got some very good names on that list. And again, the biggest victory out of so far everybody that's on this list is defeating Lomachenko with the spectacular performance that many felt if he was going to beat Lomachenko was not going to be that way. But he went out and proved people wrong, got the victory, and is currently the undisputed champion at 135 pounds. Next fight will be on Triller in June. So definitely you're going to want to tune into that. And let's see what he goes forward. There's going to be many questions coming forward from the promotional standpoint of things with him, but he's definitely earned his spot with his victory, and we'll see what comes forward with him. Tio Fimo Lopez, 16-0, 12 KOs, and again, another man to watch. This next one is a fighter to me who, again, has a lot of knockouts in his resume because of what he's done and the power he possesses, but I was more impressed in his last fight where he didn't pick up a knockout. I'm talking about Alfonso Rodriguez, 11-0 with 10 KOs. In his last bout, he actually had to go to distance for the first time. And I was more impressed on that because many fighters, young prospects, contender, whatever, if they won all their fights by knockout, once a fighter is able to stand up consistently to their power, their pressure and everything, they seem to get rattled, get frustrated, get annoyed. That's not the case that would happen here with Alfonso Rodriguez. He was able to stay patient, picked up the victory, did what he had to do, and won. And now I believe he's also going to be fighting on the unification match, the undisputed match on May 22nd on ESPN. He's going to be fighting on the undercard of Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor. Again, Alves Rodriguez, coming from Dominican Republic, fighting at a wildcard gym, is a fighter to definitely keep your eyes on going forward. Again, 11-0 with 10 KOs. He's got skills, power, and he showed last time he has some maturity. So tune in to him going forward, and let's see what he could bring. Next on this list is a man who is a polarizing figure in boxing. Big social media presence, big names that like him, celebrities in that sense. Some people don't like the way he presents himself. Other people love it. He's creating a bigger fan base, it seems, day by day. I'm talking about the one and only Ryan Garcia. 21-0 with 18 KOs. We've seen his fights where he struggled a bit with weight, had to make some deal on the side to his opponent to move up. We've also seen when he had a fight with Avery Sparrow where the fight was canceled because Sparrow was actually arrested the week of the fight. And then we've also seen him struggle a bit with certain fighters. But in his last fight against Luke Campbell, January of this year, he had a legit tough top 10 lightweight and was knocked down by Luke Campbell early in that fight. He never went out of character. He never got, frustrated. He never got shocked. I mean, he was shocked by the punch, but he never seemed to get lost in the moment. He stayed calm, reacted right, kept working against Campbell, hurt Campbell, and then in the 8th round, he landed a picture-perfect left hook to the body that stopped the fight. Campbell, again, has been in there with Jorge Linares and Vasil Lomachenko and was dropped but was able to go to distance with both fighters. He was not able to go to distance with Ryan Garcia, which to many people showed that Garcia is ready for the upper echelon of the 135-pound division. Will that be true? We will see. He has another big test and another solid name coming up for July that was actually just announced, where he will be fighting Javier Fortuna as a de facto another eliminator, mandatory shot for Devin Haney. And again, look at that. Those are two fighters on this list that could possibly be fighting at the end of the year for a WBC lightweight title. So let's definitely tune in. Again, Ryan Garcia, I like the kid. He showed a lot in his last fight, and I believe he is truth of a fighter. He is a real fighter. Many fighters, once they get knocked down, are going to give up if they're not a legit fighter, not taking shots at anybody. But we have seen it over the last 10 or 15 years when a fighter who believes, this isn't for him, finds a way to pull out of a fight when there's danger, when there's moments of, unclarity. He came in with that knockdown, responded well, and picked up his own victory. So Ryan Garcia is definitely a great fighter going forward. Next on this list is a fighter who I believe in a lot. He is an Olympic silver medalist in 2016, a 126-pound champion, has now moved up to the 130-pound weight division and has a fight coming again in June where it's either going to be a mandatory eliminator or possibly for the vacant WBO 130-pound championship. I'm talking about the one and only Shakur Stevenson. This fighter, again, has done some impressive things. Again, his victory against Joet Gonzalez to win the 126-pound title was impressive. He dominated Joet. He did what he wanted to do in that fight, went forward, never gave an inch, and picked up a solid victory. He's also had some really good knockouts on his resume. Some really good performances. He makes his opponents miss so much. If you check his CompuBox stats, they are mind-blowing for a fighter at this age, at this stage of his career, and already being a world champion. He's doing some things that many fighters have not done yet. He's currently number 1 in WBO and the WBC at 130. The question is, though, following Jamel Herring's victory yesterday, will they be able to, in a way, move things over for a unification at 130 between Oscar Valdez or Jamel Herring? Or will Shakur be able to get his shot? Or will he fight for the vacant title in June? Regardless, this kid going forward, I believe, is a superstar. He is a big name in the sport. I think he's got legit skills. He's got that power. He's got the defense that some fighters don't have at this stage yet, but he does, and he's got belief in himself, man. That's one of the things you guys need to know with some of these fighters is when they believe in themselves and they know they could push through. That's one of the biggest things. Shakur Stevenson is definitely one of those fighters. What's up, LW Boxing? And he's, again, a name and a fighter I think is going to be there for the next 10, 15 years that you're going to be hearing about possibly as a 3 or 4 weight world division champion. Shakur Stevenson, I believe, is the truth, and I believe he's going to be a big name going forward. And last on this list, again, this is not a 1-13, 13-1. This is just the way I put the list. I just randomized every picture, put them all up. But last on this list is a man who suffered his biggest test. Well, I shouldn't say suffered, but had his biggest test a couple weeks back and passed with flying colors. I'm talking about Virgil Ortiz, 17-0 with 17 KOs. This man is making waves in the welterweight division, calling out Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. He wants to fight the big names. He wants to fight the champions, and he doesn't seem to have any fear in doing that. But he's definitely making his case for it. Again, he beat his last opponent, Maurice Hooker. It was a great fight. He won the majority of the rounds to me. I think he maybe lost one, but he was going forward. Got a couple knockdowns. The fight was stopped when Maurice Hooker hurt his hand, broke his hand. But Ortiz was definitely winning that fight. Before that, he's also beat Brad Salmon, Samuel Vargas. He was the first one to stop Mauricio Herrera with a solid knockout. This man has definitely worked his way up. He's out of Robert Garcia's boxing academy, as you know there. They have a really good list, really good group of fighters there. Virgil Ortiz seems to be the next star from that gym, from that stable. So going forward, what are we going to see with Virgil Ortiz? We've heard he wants Crawford. More than likely it's not going to happen. Not Spence yet. We've heard Keith Thurman's name thrown around. Danny Garcia's name thrown around. Other fighters that I would love to see him fight. Personally, give me him and Danny Garcia. But Danny Garcia did state that he was moving up to the 154-pound weight division. So, what else can we expect? Is he going to keep his knockout record going? 17 straight KOs. Who knows? But he shows he could take a punch. He shows his slight little movements and skills inside the ring because, again, he's fought some real legit fighters to get to his point, and he's earned his way into the rankings of the welterweights. But what are we going to get from him? What are we going to see when he steps up with one of those upper echelon champion fighters? I don't know. But he's definitely, again, one of the most exciting fighters in boxing already, and he's willing to test himself with anybody. And all the fighters on this list have shown that they want to fight the best. They want to be in there with the best, and some of them have already done that as fighting the best. And let's see what Virgil Ortiz does going forward. So that's the list, guys, from, again, 13 fighters. It was supposed to be a top 10, but that's the depth in boxing with the youth today, is that it made it a little bit harder to only pick 10 because there was a 4-way split with the votes of the fighters. So definitely, again, this has been something big for me. Personally, I just want to do this list up and see who we could get. I was surprised by some. I really liked the other lists. And there were some fighters that I know were missing, but they just weren't picked enough. But again, it shows the depth. There's so many fighters. There's so many in my head that I could think of that I know are going to be there really soon. So sorry about that. So if you feel someone was missed, go ahead and put them on the comments. Tweet me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But again, that's the list as of right now going forward. Like I spoke to a few people before, I believe maybe 6 months to a year. This list is completely different, with some of these fighters maybe already be, borderline champions or something of that nature, or some of the other prospects that I said we missed jumping up to the higher levels with some solid victories. So let's see what we get. Again, any questions, comments you want to do, leave them in the comment section on YouTube. Tweet me, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you want to do. Twitter at Wolf2988. Of course, again here, YouTube 26 Sports. And find me on Instagram, Mike031289. Facebook, you could go off of my name. Leave comments wherever you want. Have nothing against anything. You can say whatever you want, man. If you get a response, though, don't get in your feelings, because I do talk back. I do respond to everybody. And again, this was fun for me. I really liked it, guys. So everybody that put their input on this, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. I will be giving you all a shout out here. First, let me give a shout out to Vegas Sports Daily. Salute to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Mike Dixon, salute, bro. Hope you doing good. Also, the Raiders Ramble, man. Appreciate you guys. Always love and support. Let's go Raiders all the time, man. 24/7. And, let me say everybody that helped put this list together. Let me give a shout out to Clay Stevenson, my brother Glitter Road on Twitter. Let me give a shout out to Rick V, Boxing Vitals, man. Appreciate you always reaching out, showing support from day one. Had to throw you on this list, man, because I got mad respect for you, brother. Also, let me get a shout out to my boy David Lopez, PR Lopez on Twitter, man. Appreciate you. Love your knowledge of the sport, man. Thank you for helping out with this list. Francisco Salazar, man, one of the best men you'll meet in boxing, in the media game. He's helped me out a lot from the first time I spoke to him to the first time I seen him in person in Carson in LA. He's a great person to speak to. And then also got to give a shout out to my brother Ernie Green, man. He put this boxing chat that we have every Friday night with different fighters, media, again, boxing personalities, Twitter. Ernie Green, man, thank you for the list, man, and thank you for reaching out to me to allow me to become part of that boxing chat family team. Also, my boy Weak Sauce Radio, Marquise Johns. What's up, brother? Thank you for helping out with this list. Also, man, the one, the only Big Fry, Jake the Great Donovan, man. Appreciate you reaching out and taking part in this list too, man. Appreciate everything you did. Appreciate when you give me some knowledge, man. I really do appreciate everything you do there. And this is a great list that you put together. And as you can see, a lot of your fighters made that list. Also wanted to shout out my boy BoxRec Gray, man. You guys know who he is. BoxRec, the go-to, it seems, for boxing records everywhere. And of course, it's Gray, man. He's the man that gets it all done for you. So thank you, Gray, for helping put this list together with your list. And I want to shout out again Carlos Toro, man. Appreciate everything you do, brother. Appreciate you always reaching out. Appreciate all the talks that we could have, man. And thank you for taking part of this list, man. I know you were interested to see how it was going to look at the end. And you got a lot of your fighters. Also, shout out to my boy Boog Williams, man, on Twitter. Appreciate the help, man. Appreciate how quickly you were able to get that list to me, man. That was very impressive. Also, follow him on Twitter, man. On YouTube, Aldub Boxing. Man knows what he's talking about. Definitely a bright mind inside the world of boxing. Also, Abraham Gonzalez, man. Appreciate you reaching out. Appreciate everything you've helped me with. Been cool from day one since we met. Again, out there in Carson. It's been pretty cool, man. Appreciate the list. You got it to me really quick, man. And salute to you, my brother. I know you're going to be heading out pretty soon. Moving away from where you're at here in California. But appreciate you taking time to get this list done. Also, one of the most controversial people on this list, and I mean that with the utmost respect, from my girl Knockouts with Nika. Nika, salute you, man. All love all the time. Always a great person to talk to. We, share many conversations. Talk about not just boxing, we talk about life. So respect and all love to you, man. Appreciate you for getting your list to me really quick as well. And to my boy Stacks, Ringside, Anthony Saldana, man. Appreciate you with this list as well. Got it to me really quick, bro. Again, bro, you're one of the strongest people I know for everything you've gone through. Again, appreciate you, man, being like family now real quick, brother. You really became like family real quick. All love to you, bro, and thank you for helping me out with this list. And, I was everybody, man. We did it here over the last couple weeks, thinking I may do this more consistently, add more people to the list, add more people to take part in it, and hopefully we can, So again, everybody that tuned in today, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Hopefully I get you guys to like, subscribe to the channel. Want to reach at least 500 by the summer if I can, maybe 1,000 by the end of the year. So anybody that you know, anybody that you don't know, anybody that you just want to know, tell them to check into my channel. Twitter, again, Wolf2988. Instagram, Mike031289. Facebook, it's my name, Michael Ruther. Reach out and let me know anything that you guys want to talk about. Inboxing. And appreciate the support from everybody. Again, like and subscribe, share. Let me know what you feel about this list, man. If you guys got any issues with it, always up to debate. Always up to speak with anybody. And it's all love here. So, again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this Easter Sunday. Hope you're having a great Easter. Hopefully it's with the family. If not, whatever you're doing, I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great rest of your week as well. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Man, this is Mike Ruther signing out today. 26 Sports. Thank you for tuning into this episode, and we'll speak